Welcome back, everyone. It is the Valorant Game Changers. We just saw Team Karma take map number 1 against Team Valaris, 13-10. Quite a close game in the end. I was almost worried it was gonna go into another round, but Karma managed to close it out there. Gompers. Yeah. I mean, I want to start things off. You said you didn't want to see a chamber, and guess what? They gave you a chamber.
Yeah, I actually really liked it. And for me, maybe it was because of my personal experience with the chamber, but I think that, you know, there is a lot of forgiving aspects in a map like Lotus, and Hannah showed me that, right? Down towards B, you know, there was a lot of those short takes where they could actually leave their rendezvous right behind the wall and then really just profit off of that. And Hannah was just a big destroyer of it all throughout this game, a majority of the time fragging out when needed. And I really do feel like that chamber shone a lot, right? You saw that rendezvous really putting forth that effort and allowing Hannah that confidence to peak. And not only that, helping out the team as well all the while with those refrags.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you called that out as we focus on that chamber pick, because typically I think we talked about, yeah, sure, we wanted to see the get-go, but for the most part, a lot of times we're noticing like a sort of a sentinel locking down one of the sites. But Team Karma, they were very aggressive. I would say both teams essentially were very aggressive. Once that spike goes down, it's essentially, all right, let's take up space and expand. And chamber really allows for that, just because you could, you know, leave like a little like bot like to guard an entryway and then just play somewhere else. And I did love that as far as like the way Team Karma played it. Another note that I have here, Gompers, that I feel like I addressed as well, both teams retake goddesses. My goodness, it almost does not feel like it didn't matter what side you are. The real match happened as soon as that spike went down.
It did. It actually really did. And it was always that post plant, right? I feel like Valaris was gripping on to the potential to win. And overall, it was Karma just down at when they were defending. It felt like there was a bit of that. I mean, attacking, my apologies. It felt like there was a bit of, you know, struggle. They were trying to, you know, regather their footing with the composition they have currently. It felt like Emily was really trying to gain some of those entries, but with Breach, I feel like there were a couple of difficulties there for the side of TK when they were on that attacking side. But going down to defense, it felt like they were finally in their element. You saw, you know, just tons and tons of assistant going down towards that mid control. A lot of the time for those, you know, takes, Valaris even had a hard time trying to get themselves onto site. And you saw just the consistent first taps coming through from Team Karma, then eventually leading into Valaris missing out on some of that util to help them keep that post plant together. So overall, first picks is quite literally Team Karma's game, and they just slowly just tear apart this roster.
Now, I'm glad you brought that up when you talk about utility, because both sides, absolute utility spammers here. I mean, I can't use my own experience in pubs as far as, but everybody just wants to run down A, right? And for this time, there's a lot of heavy presence and a lot of utility usage controlling B. Doesn't necessarily mean we have to go there, but B was always like the contested spot, and a lot of utility being held until like post-plant battle, trying to find that space. It's almost like you get that spike down, now you're trapped on site because we're all here. And I do love to see that. So as we get ready for the second map here, which is Pearl, and I believe the casters touched up on it too. This is Team Karma's map pick, Gompers. I feel like it kind of is the same thing with the wide site that is, I want to say like B right now. Are we going to be expecting something similar as far as utility goes? Like a lot of utility spammage again?
Wait, repeat that? What, in Spanish?
Sorry, no, a lot of utility spammage.
Oh my god, I heard what is utility in Spanish? I was like,
what is utility? I actually don't know.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, this is now a surprise Spanish lesson, exactly.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like now you're transitioning over to that Pearl pick there coming out from Team Karma. This is heavy. Like, this is actually makes so much sense as to why they played the way they did down on Lotus and why they picked this map, right? You see just the early round aggression coming through out from Hannah, and I'm hoping that Hannah can actually bring that back. I would be surprised if we see the chamber, but they could also prove me wrong again. I feel like here it isn't as close and tight cornered as it is on Lotus, where you can put that rendezvous and actually be able to kind of weave and bob your way through these walls. But here for Pearl, I feel like it's such a big distance that you're gonna need really big area of effect util in order to just completely contest the site and get everybody feeling overwhelmed. And that's one of the biggest things here for Team Karma, is that's what they're good at. They're good at overwhelming this team. They're good at making this team feel pressured and cornered, especially on this post plan. So I think that defense coming out from Team Karma on Pearl is going to be tremendous.
Now let's swing it over to the other side as far as what Valorant need to do to secure themselves a map number 3 here, because I feel like this map in particular still does tend to favor on the defense side. But if Team Valorant like plays the aggression that they do and they manage to catch Team Karma off guard, perhaps they could use that as an advantage here. Would it also come down to the team comp? I don't see anybody really playing a Gecko on this map. My sliver of hope is gone. Are we going to be seeing him at all in this matchup, Gompers?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It would be pleasant, but I don't think Gecko is going to be run into this Game Changers. I think the next one, I think we'll be able to see maybe one time, and that's just a maybe throughout this series. But I think next time in the next series, we'll probably be able to see a Gecko or two.
Okay, so if that's the case, then I was assumed that it would be the very similar standard controller and sentinels that we're going to be seeing then on the side of Valeris. Now, Breach, I feel like, is still going to be very strong on this map. I do like KO still, because I know we were talking about it earlier. Emily kind of rocks both. Are we going to change things up as far as what sort of initiators we're going to be seeing here, or is the Breach spam still coming into play?
Oh man, I feel like Fade has been pretty heavily implemented into Pearl, and it makes sense, especially with just the wide range of what Pearl is. It's a lot to handle, especially when you're entering, so you need to clear that backside, and I feel like Fade is pretty easy in doing that. But alongside that, I think Fade might be the only, I would say, util user, possibly a Breach, if anything, just to keep those flashes coming. But overall, I feel like that would be a pretty good guess.
What about a Sova? Because I've seen both teams rocking a double initiator situation. Is that something that we can expect here? Or are they, especially if you're starting on the defense, do you want to probably maybe have better control of the side, have more duelists? I've seen Sage played on here sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about her, but it's a good slow situation, right?
Yeah, I would actually like to see the Harbor being brought out. I feel like a double. I personally really prefer a double controller composition on this map, and the only reason why is because it not only really does that sufficient hold, but also with the Harbor, it does that slow as well. It gives you somewhat of an advantage once those peaks start to come through, and not only that, then you can utilize your initiator to its full potential. You can get information past those smokes. You can also close things out down on the defense. It's a lot, but I feel like at the same time, it's worth it.
Well, it's worth it indeed. So if we're not going to see a Gecko, I'm really hoping that we get to see Harbor come into play here. And with that, we do have the match number 2 underway here. We have Mimi and Wyatt. Take us in.
Thanks very much. Yeah, Wyatt, I have one question and one question alone for you. TK,
Okay, I'm ready
have
to
not
answer.
played this map yet.
Right.
What are they cooking? What kind of composition are we expecting out of them with them picking into Pearl here?
No one knows. But that
Thanks.
being
Good
said,
analysis. Moving on, next topic.
that being said, Mimi, I kind of want to see a similar thing to Lotus, shades of Paper Rex, perhaps. You know what I mean? Where maybe we're getting a little bit of the kind of Ray's silliness and that sort of approach. You know what I mean? But it looks like, well, I guess we'll see. Nope. Big ol' nopers. They're gonna have the Astra, they're gonna have the Breach, the combo that utility on the side of Karma. Sova, Jet, no Raze. Killjoy, kind of just a must pick on this map. Most maps, to be honest. But certainly here on Pearl. And then on the other side, Fade going to be played. Fade definitely gets some good value on this map. The Prowlers are pretty effective. KO as well. Jet. Nothing too crazy here on either side. Astra, of course, so good. What are you thinking?
I think the one kind of crazy thing is Sova. I don't think a lot of teams have favored him on this map. But I think what value you do have on your defense, there's a lot of like cross-map darts. Taking B is a lot easier to fight long with the Sova darts. It just gives you different ideas compared to that Fade. And I think also might be an issue of comfort. But here we go. Map number 2. Team Karma right now up 1-0 in the series and looking to progress just one step closer to the main event as Starbound is going to things off by taking a peek in mid here. It's Avery actually to start though, and Kate not really in position to trade. She's forced to dash away, and they're running out of bullets. Team Valaris is just going to fall away from this one with their player advantage.
Yeah, and you can't be mad at that. When you get that early pick as a defending side, you don't have to do anything. You can just wait around, play that nice man advantage retake situation out, and you're going to be favored every single time. So we'll see if that's essentially what they plan to do. Avery and Starlight playing in that link. Not giving any credence to holding B right now at all. Just not a priority. Fine with that retake. K walking up, gets spotted. Gun down in the back. And now 5-on-3. Essentially no map control here for the attacking side, having just walked up mid. The stun is good to try and push in the connector, but they don't even know that Starlight was just chilling in the corner the entire time. Free pick on the Hannah and the Haunt. Just for extra measure, gonna spot out Ellie. She's gonna go down inevitably. Avery just holding that angle so well the entire time. Gonna go away with 4 kills here in the first round. 3 orbs away from actually getting that Astra ult, which is so busted on this map.
Yeah, it can provide a lot of value. But in that pistol round, I'm not super impressed with what we saw from Team Karma. I think after losing that initial player, you either need to like instantly fight to try and get that trade or reset and try and take space elsewhere. But in that round, they kind of lost their player and then tried to re-push into mid, but didn't really clear out either of the common angles and didn't have a smoke to isolate those duels. So they ended up just walking into this crossfire, and Avery absolutely ate him up in that round. A 4K for her. It's her full armor and a Guardian in this one. Team Karma again trying to go for one of these early fights. And Kay actually successful onto Icy. She only earns herself a ghost, but still a great pick to find.
Team Karma, they're gonna make me nerd out of control, Mimi. That was a really cool little setup though to get through Art. The recon going in deep, the dash off that, the stun coming through. Super nice. Eco round or no, that was a really cool play to try and find some kind of advantage here, do a bit of damage. They really didn't invest anything at all into this round, aside from a couple of utility pieces, most of which are free. So, in fact, not an investment. Free money glitch. You actually start with a recon dart every round. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
And they just have classics. Gonna make their way into B. Starbound holding a passive angle with the Marshall. They've looked so good with these scoped weapons so far. As I say that, though, a shot missed. Gonna try and break this turret. Nice and quickly. Plant going down, but the gun advantage here and with just classics. Surely this is an easy Valaris cleanup.
Yeah, it looks like it, but still, I would say that's a successful round for Team Karma. You get a cool a kill there with your cool little setup, and you get your spike planted. You know, Wyatt, in today's economy, it's more important than ever to have preset strats that cost you nothing.
I mean, you're absolutely right, Nami. We could take this time to talk about the recession and how that's affecting our country in negative ways, but I'm going to focus on the VALORANT here instead.
Speaking of a team who's no longer in a recession, the Attackers. They're going to have a full rifle buy into this round, and I think we'll get the first look of what Team Karma wants to do consistently with this composition. Is it going to be mid-fights? Is it going to be more of those preset executes to set their jet up for success? Looks like in this one they're leaning towards A.
Yeah, I want to see what the plan is here from Ellie with this Sova. You mentioned it, but it is an uncommon pick on Pearl. Pearl also being a map that this team has literally never played a match on, yet picked. And oh my god, what a cool play again to just crack this A site open. The recon, the breach stun timing, the dash, it's all just perfect. Both defenders stunned up, lit up from the dart. I mean, it's just so good. And it's just a continuation of the narrative thread from the first map. What made Karma so good on Lotus, these set plays, the oppressive utility, and already we're just seeing it here. Round 2, when they just had the free utility. Round 3, when they could actually spend money on abilities. And now 5-on-3 should be able to clean this up.
Emily maybe bit off a little bit more than she could chew there, but the reflank is coming. That should be enough to secure this round. Hannah, free kill for her, knows that nobody is on that spike, and Hay will grab her third easy round for Team Karma. And I mean, you brought up that setup at the beginning, but I want to talk about it even more. The timing was so perfect. It's the breach flash landing the exact same time the Silver Dart lands. So even the player who's not forward, the one back supporting, is still blinded and cannot break the dart. And then the fault line is set up to stun players in the line that they're going to be running away as they see that flash come through. It's just beautifully done by Team Karma. I love seeing the setups from them.
And again, now into this round, we are going to have a full buy on both sides. This one means a lot for Valaris, though. You can see that their economy is in tatters. They've spent it all here. And again, these fast breach flashes, K pushing up so quickly using that dash, finding another opening. So many first kills now from K. What is that, 3 rounds in a row? Even got one with a classic.
Yep.
Just a few ago. I mean, so good from her. They're just setting her up perfectly as well. I mean, listen, she obviously has to execute. She has to do what is required of her with that individual skill, but they are just setting her up beautifully. And again, Hannah, just one of the elite fraggers on the Sentinel role. God damn, Team Karma are looking good.
Yeah, that is so good out of Hannah. You were talking about it in game number 1, but I think she's always been one of the best Sentinel players in Game Changers. Even with her time at Gen G, when Gen G wasn't doing the hottest, she was always consistently finding those lurks, holding that space, and just popping off as an individual on that role. But this round isn't over yet. Starbound has found one. That kind of opens things up. I thought the initial idea would just be to save in this 2 versus 5, but the operator is now finding value. 2 kills. Near even odds, only down a player, but Scratches is very late, and you notice Hannah, a second layer to her lurk. The timing might not work out for her, no. Finds her kill. It's just Starbound, a 1 versus 3. The timer is ticking. Only 1 Cloudburst to work with, and just too many players to contend with. It was good damage, but it will not be an attempt. It will not be a round. She's just going to save the operator here.
Yeah, really the only option at this point. You know, a lot of the good rounds that we saw from the defense on the previous map, Lotus, involved Starbound having that operator in a good position early, winning duels against Hannah some of the time, who had an attacking, you know, not purchased operator, but, you know, the operator that Chambers ult provides.
Free gun.
Winning out those duels. Yeah, free gun. Still, the infinite money glitch. But I'd like to see Starbound try and get involved here, try and take that first contact. And I mean, frankly, it's not for a lack of effort. They have been playing with that op towards B, which normally, that is the obvious spot to be with it. But it's possible that they're going to want to adjust to a different location, because at this point, Team Karma has no interest in going towards B whatsoever. They are perfectly content with working mid, working A, and then going B through the links late round if they need to, after they've already exposed other parts.
Oh, the fight is excellent. Stun there. 4K to swing. Ellie's the one to find the frag instead. Only more flashes in as well. A dart comes through, but Emily is kind of swinging alone. This round now gets a little bit weird, but Karma will just keep fighting, keep trying to trade. They lose another to the operator, so now actually down a player. This mid-fight has really taken this round into weird territory. These days we see most teams on this map just like favor fast B, fast A executes and are just holding space in mid, but in this round now, this is the second time that both teams have basically fully gambled mid on that fight.
Yeah, Starbound again, maybe gonna be able to make something happen with this operator. A couple sheriffs as well. 3-on-2
They can get
recon
guns though,
to clear
man.
that backside. Yeah, they can. That very well may be the difference maker here. We'll see how Kay and Ellie can set up. Recon was used, so unlikely that it's going to be involved in this fight. Unlikely that there's really going to be any viable utility here from Team Karma whatsoever. One shock dart. Astra Wall is going to go up now. Is that going to be the difference? Ellie just swings through it and gets to Ellie and Kay backside working in tandem. The swing can't actually be traded out from Kay's positioning. Icy trying to get a little bit of info off this turret, trying to tap the spike time. He's just getting way too low. Kay just biding her time outside of that smoke. Knew exactly how to play around the tap, play around that turret, saving the gun as well.
Wow.
Recovering what was a dire situation. Almost losing to the eco.
What an insane call, though, in that post plant. Plant for main, 2 players backside in a 2v3. I mean, who expects that? You see that plant, you think they're either playing in art, they're playing in main. We've cleared through art. They're going to either be leaving one player on site and crossfiring from main, but no. Both players are ready in the back lines, and Team Valorant didn't have people set up to clear that space, really, which I don't even blame them for. That's just a great call from Team Karma in the late round after maybe fumbling things a little bit in the early part of that anti-eco.
Yeah, now Kay, Emily, again, this Breach and Jet duo moving fast towards A, but it's actually a fake because the rest of Team Karma have worked up B. Valaris as well, just taking that space because the attacking side hasn't been there. Scratches trying to make the hero play with the KO, trying to flash and find something to recover this round, but it's just too far gone, and a tricky play from Team Karma just gonna bring them surely another round win here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fake, but it's also not a fake. You get your 2 kills towards B. That allows the Jet player to walk all the way through A, all the way through Art, get a second kill there, and now you just full pivot back, get the kill in mid, and Starlight is clueless. She thought this one was going to be a B finish. Absolutely not. And I think her only option here is to save.
Yeah, it really is. 500 credits in the bank. The rest of the team so low on money. You're gonna need that rifle in the next round. Having a hero rifle, by all metrics, does genuinely improve your eco round chance of winning by a pretty significant percentage. So even just holding on to that, you never know. It could be the difference maker here. Starlight as well. The IGL for this Valaris side under so much pressure. Losing that first map, your map pick, going up against just such a well-drilled team, and oh my god, they just even have the read on this. Emily gonna take away that rifle. Maybe their one hope into that round. Just what is Starlight gonna do as the IGL to respond to this under so much pressure? You're up against a well-drilled team with just an infinite well of experience. You're going up against the literal 5-time world champions, Emily and Rain. They've done it all in this space. And a young IGL at that in Starlight. Just so much pressure. Pressure on her, pressure on the young players on the team. Princess Icy, only 16 years old, competing with this team now. First real kind of high-level experience in the Game Changers scene.
Starbound as well. Another young fragger. That hero rifle will be tossed over into her hands, and she's not able to get anything done. Team Karma, they see that pressure, and they instantly react to it. 3 players all pivoting back. 4th joining them as well. They just take this B site, which is absolutely free. As long as Hannah doesn't die in mid here, should be a pretty simple round for Team Karma to close out, and it hears these rotations going on. She knows that there's potential for alert timing, and she's getting ready to take it. Once Princess Icy falls, that opens up the world for this Killjoy player in mid.
One down.
Hannah finds the timing. Kay got the spot on the cross. Hannah is just way too smooth with the rifle. Scratch is eventually going to trade that out, but again, just too little too late over and over in these scenarios. Starbound on the flank. Really nice kill onto Ellie. Maybe that can open things up. Both players coming from long. Vandals recovered. They are going to be effective at this range. It just depends on how Karma are actually going to play this post plant, and they do have a really nice kind of three-pronged crossfire potentially here set up. Smoke actually going to nullify the angle from Emily to some extent, but with the time getting low as well, just how do you handle this? The Karma players are just on every single angle, not giving away an inch.
Yeah, and I want to talk about how much space and how many options that Hannah gives this Team Karma squad in the mid-round. I don't think there's been a single time where she's been the mid-anchor and she's lost that space. Every single time. She's shutting down rotations. She's finding a lurk time. And like that one, the second Princess Icy dies, Hannah is there to swing off the now fallen alarm bot and to take a kill. It's just so perfectly done out of her. And for Team Valaris, honestly, what I want to see is them put less of an emphasis on mid out of this tac timeout. Just hold your Killjoy utility to take that space, and maybe even just like try and hard fight on these sites or take extremity control. I liked what we were seeing with some of those A-lobby ideas, some of those A-lobby looks, but they're just so afraid of these set plays that Team Karma have been putting in that direction. They haven't really been able to make those aggressive plays themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to take this time out here. The Valaris coach, Kath, trying to provide some of her insight, trying to turn things around here on the defense. Just no answer yet for these nice, just off the jump every round set plays from Team Karma to find these picks towards A, and it looks like they're setting up for another one again. We'll see how Valaris actually opts to respond to it this time. Kind of looks like they want to focus a little bit more towards Art here. Starbound with that operator. Been so good with it. Going to be holding the angle towards mid. Again, similar play here. Recon coming over the top into A main. Some breach utility coming through that early flash. K pushing up. The space is claimed. But I prefer the positioning right now from Valaris, just holding towards Art. You want A main? Fine. We're just going to play the other angles. We're going to retake if we need to. We're going to try and find a pick when you flood into the site. Holding on that left side. And it's way better than going down early.
Yeah, reply of the Killjoy ultimate here from Princess Icy, but that's one of the powerful parts of Sova. Hunter's Fury nullifies it, and look at Kay. She's gotten so deep, maybe a little too deep. No support for her. She falls to Starlight. And now this retake can come quickly. Emily, though, might have found a gap. She does not hear the players running on the other side because this fade ult, but she is suspicious of it. Another re-wrap. Rain finds her. That's just the KO player of Scratches down. So resurrection is possible. Spike is being held. Who can get Avery off? She's holding on this one, and no one's there to stop her. A full stick in the chaos, and Valaris grabbed the round.
Really impressive from Valaris there. I mean, honestly, it didn't look like that was going to be a situation where they were actually going to pull off the retake. Just surrounded. Every flank was coming in from Karma at that point. They were just everywhere, but the crucial duels ended up being won out at the end. Princess Icy winning a couple of those, solidifying things. And that's really what it came down to. They were pressured from all angles. They had to take the fights, and they had to win them. That was their only way out. Otherwise, they were just going to get spammed down while they were trying to stick it. And win those fights, they did. If there's one thing we've definitely seen from Valaris, they do have the player talent. They have the player skill. They can hit those shots. They can win those crucial fights. It's really just this coordinated utility that they're struggling against.
Blocking sight.
And this is a bit of a different look. It looks like they just want to use this Astral to find a shallow plant onto site. And they will be able to get that done. No utility to deny that one. So it's just going to be this wild 5v5 retake where Team Karma is playing every single player off site.
And look at this as well. Maybe they have the drone coming in.
Wait, did they think it was a fake towards B? What? Two players were running back. What is going on in this one? Scratches ran back towards B, then rotated back through mid, and now dies to Hannah.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't spot that. Maybe worrying about this Hannah flank that's been coming in, and they are going to trade that one out. But still, though, with Hannah down, actually, pretty impactful. No mollies for the spike. They can actually stick it and force these players to have to push. But maybe a little bit too aggressive on this retake. Time getting so low. Yeah, I mean, you called it, Mimi. I didn't see that, but they did end up just wasting a lot of valuable time there, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they might have thought that Astral was one of those kind of trick walls where it goes like half towards one side, half towards the other, because Team Karma have attempted fakes on A before, but that wasn't one. Spike gets planted, stick it on the other side. I don't know. I'll have to watch that back. It was a very weird situation, but no matter what was going on inside their comms, it leads to them just not having enough time to win that one out, and that's a pretty crippling round to lose. They're going to be stuck on basically a full eco here.
Yeah, on the eco again. K with the cheeky knives with the shotgun type loadout. And fairly smart standard from Team Karma. Just approaching B long, taking those long-range duels against the eco weapons. That is exactly what you want to do. Similar site exec to what we had seen last time. I mean, just look at all of this coming. Oh, like, just look at all of this raining down on the site from the helicopter cam POV, baby. I mean, it's ridiculous. The Astra stun, the breach stun, the dash in to get the info into the smoke, break the crosshairs, the recon coming in. The recons have been really good, and like you said earlier, just an unusual pick, this Sova. And given that they've never played Pearl, and you're never really practicing against a Sova on this map, it is rare. Just so tough for VALORANT to try and find answers, counterplay it in real time.
This round is getting a little bit scarier than it probably should be, but Ellie has the position to be able to close this one on out. Yeah, no chance. Once that smoke falls, the chances of winning that one are over. But still, fairly clean. 2 players left alive with your economy in good shape. I don't think that's going to affect Team Karma all too much, as yeah, I think that's actually the first time that they showed just a straight up B hit. They've put a lot of emphasis in just kind of like taking mid early or fighting for A, so nice to see another page out of their strat book there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They haven't really had to go for it yet, right? They've been just winning so many rounds off these cool utility plays towards A main. And then when they want to throw in the full B hit, I mean, as we saw there, just perfect utility, making it so easy for K to be set up in those situations. It's just, what can you do as a defender against this quality of play that you can't even prepare for?
Yeah, it's so difficult to contend with. And this round again is a preset execute, Rolling Thunder in, but no one is actually here to support K. She's on a mission of her own. Dashes across, now has support from teammates in main. Can K get another? Rain crosses towards Art, but she trades on to Hannah. Still, Rain is there. She's wrapped around for another. Only one player left to stand. It's Avery. 1 versus 2. So much noise being made, but it does not matter. K is clean. Finds her kill. And finds an 8th round now for Team Karma. This momentum is absurd.
It really is. Even in that moment, K wins the duel. Rain was just on her way to B to get that free plant anyhow. Just so smart in that round. Rain's positioning, trading perfectly. And now at 8-3, Team Karma just gonna take a bit of a cheeky timeout here, you know, catch their breath a little bit. Listen, they've been working hard out there, Mimi. They've been having to win a lot of rounds here.
Yeah, it's a tough job.
Take a little pause, a little sip of water, maybe some, you know, G Fuel to take you into the second half or something along those lines.
Yeah, crack open your Red Bull, lean back in your Secretlab chair.
True.
Recline. I'm actually doing that right now.
Boy, I'm
it's a good
comfortable in this Secretlab's Titan Evo.
Very comfortable indeed. But a team that's not super comfortable, VALORANT, down 3-8 on the half. Where generally you're looking to get at least like 5 or so rounds going. Maybe though. They have something cooked up for the attack side of their own. Converting this last round, though, it's like somewhat of a necessity for this squad. And this timeout helps them as well. Allows their coach to get some words in.
And as we've been saying, it really just is this experienced Team Karma brain trust that has just put them in this position where they look like this coordinated beast of a team. Emily, XP3, the coach. And it's just, again, so evident how much prep has gone into this team. How much prep has gone into these maps. Big fight ensuing in mid. I like this defensive aggression from VALORANT. We're trying to take the fight to them a bit. And it's going to net them a couple of kills, actually in an advantage here early in the round. VALORANT with the man advantage early in a round. We have not seen that often.
No, we have not. But can they close it out? It's going to be a pivot towards the B site. Alt orb grabbed. Hannah will have the Killjoy ult in the post plant here, which could be quite potent. Valoris not going to be contesting, just holding their space and successful in that. Starbound, 2 taps off the Guardian, so it's Hannah in a 1 versus 3. Yes, the KJ ult to work with, but her opponent might just try and stick this one through. Princess Icy already on that defuse, holding down the line. Can she get this past the Killjoy ult? Just in time, she will. Defuse is stuck, very well played. Out of Team Valoris to find their 4th.
No.
Switching sides.
Oh, no. That is some very unfortunate timing. I mean, the Astra Wall just so good. The final round, no reason not to use that Killjoy ult. Gotta try and win it out in the 1v3, but, you know, kind of just counter that with the wall and an easy defuse, and you can't even really push that wall to try through that wall to try and win it. But God, what an impressive half from Team Karma, and we've just been going on and on about how impressive they've looked, but frankly, it really is well deserved. We'll see though if Valoris can try and string something together here on the attack. Lest we forget, Mimi, as well, they won the pistol round too on defense. That's 2 of their rounds, the pistol and the eco.
That's brutal to think about. Only that really 1 rifle round able to be converted, hoping for something a little bit better in the second half. As this time it's strong towards the C site. K is up top for 1, and no one is clearing Emily. Crossfire is perfection. Ellie there on the other side. It's an utter shutdown. Not 1 player standing for Team Valoris, and not even a tap on the spike attempted.
I mean, Team Karma are just way too aware at this point. They are simply aware. They have... It's the tea leaves, Mimi. I don't know what's going on. They just had the perfect crossfire set up on B. They had the perfect crossfire.
The thing is,
K set up top, behind the screens. It was just... It's exactly what they needed against the straight up B hit.
I feel like those setups are pretty common, though. A lot of teams go for, like, straight B hits on pistol rounds and such. Like, it feels like Team Valoris just got greedy. They spotted the 1 player on site they want to overwhelm, and no one clears the other side. It's like those little mistakes are going to come back and haunt you in a series like this, where, well, this map has thus far been a lot more one-sided. It has been a close series overall. 13-10 on Lotus. Little rounds like that can lose you a series. With them on a full eco, it's like Team Karma is on the precipice of hitting double digits.
Yeah, barely anything invested into this round, and frankly, that's got to be the case. Valoris can do the best here, but it's really about what they can bring on these next 5 rounds. Princess Icy gets a cheeky first pick with the classic. Shades of, you know, 2020 classic gameplay coming out there. But still at this point, you know, a lot of info on the positioning here. Hannah hears all of them. She's going to have an opportunity to just farm, but actually just a 1-for-1. Valoris are just running around the map with the death ball, and it's kind of working. K gonna trade one back, a bit delayed, 3-on-3, and a couple of better weapons actually recovered while this plant is going down too.
She basically has an operator, though. No one has health. And K's already found 1 through the wall. Down goes Starbound, and Ellie's got the 2nd as well. Got shaky for a second, but a nice cleanup for Team Karma. 10-4, they find themselves looking dominant here on Pearl.
Yeah, and again, this is just where Valoris are going to have to really seriously step up. I don't know if that's on Starlight, the IGL, to put together a game plan. If that's going to be on Starbound to activate the mechanics in the way that we had seen them do previously. And not just with those scoped weapons with the operator that they've looked so good on. On this attack, you're gonna need the rifling to be absolutely on point. It really just needs to be a full team effort bringing this back at this point. I don't think there's any one person that can do it at a deficit like this. But how do you do it when Team Karma have everything going for them? K 17-6, having a hell of a game. All of the game plans working, the prep all working. At this point, just what the hell do you do?
Bring them down.
It's so tough to find that answer. And in this round, Team Valoris will lean towards mid. Initially just breaking that Killjoy utility. Now giving themselves a an opportunity to maybe reset this round. Looks like they want to still split towards A, but that could get dangerous. 3 players stacked here for the side of Team Karma.
Yeah, I don't know about this. Princess Icy gonna 1-for-1. Can they actually trade this out? Ellie kind of turning to the side, and they are. Man, they are actually able to trade out all of those kills. Pretty fortunate, honestly, considering I think the macro on this round, it was a little odd. They just pressure towards Art, kind of draw the rotates towards A, and then they just straight up a main hit off the back of it, but they win out all of the crucial duels. Gonna, hopefully for them, even this up. They're gonna try and win out this post plant in the 3v2, hold the angles for each other.
Enemy remaining.
Starlight has the back of Avery. Avery taking that first contact. And at this point, a weak Hannah. Really nothing to do to be done there. Gonna go down, a few rifles saved as well. VALORANT gonna need that economy to be booming for the rest of this. They really can't afford an eco at all. They have to string together so many rounds, and that was, listen, that was a good start. Despite running into that stack that they kind of inadvertently drew to the A site, they do still win it out.
Yeah, that they do. But this is the next big hurdle in their task, and that's K with an operator and a full buy for the side of Team Karma. That op will post towards B long, and Team Karma will play heavy towards A. Killjoy utility set up there and ready for a fight towards Art, but it is just a default for this attacking side. Again, I think they're prioritizing breaking this Killjoy utility, pressuring Link, and trying to get an idea of this setup, get an idea of where that operator is once they find out it exists.
Oh my god. Maybe they
know.
Maybe they knew.
They had an idea. Update. They were aware. I mean, that's tough for Hannah. Kind of a gamble to play that position, and they were just aware. Also aware is Avery to use a little pullback star to get out there. Could have gotten a little bit risky with the operator on the other side.
None of that Killjoy utility to deal with. Now Rain thinks it's a great idea to just stand behind the box as well. Surely
they would never
they don't
spam this
check
again.
the...
Right?
No, check the box twice.
Guys?
Oh no, it's an absolute disaster in Art. At least it gets traded out, but... Oh, Christ. I feel like we shouldn't be in a 3v3, baby.
Yeah. Okay, and now they're running into Case Operator. Right angle,
30 seconds
right
left.
time. Does she get the fight? Maybe not. Princess Icy actually phasing through the smoke here towards spawn. Emily spots her out on the jumpy, and the operator holds the angle. Kay takes down Scratches, so now Icy has to make a play. She has to win this fight, and she's able to do so. A bit of safe harbor towards the spawn side, but her teammates falling all around her. The operator trained on her angle, and that is a heartbreaker for Team VALORANT. They got the freest of kills to start that round, but they're unable to convert.
Yeah, that is just so rough. And I mean, as kind of silly as it is, it's honestly not, I mean, clearly, as you saw, wasn't a bad idea for Rain to get in this position. It is a weird timing that she hit to actually get back up there, but man, you just hate to see that. When VALORANT, that was really the round they needed to get the economy in a better place, to be able to even think about stringing a few more together, make the comeback happen, and now just look at it. I mean, look at this. They have, you know, one Vandal, one Spectre. They have a Killjoy ult to work with, but surely this just isn't enough, right?
It shouldn't be. Ability pop, but Starbound, they found themselves a little gap in it. Everything invested, but they're completely fine. And on the other side of the map, Princess Icy has fallen.
Yeah, and with her down, they have to be worried about a potential defensive flank, too. They could be working into mid. There's no utility to watch any of this. Hannah playing this passive angle, gonna dodge that flash, just gets the info, doesn't have to fight that, playing it smart. Flash coming in from Emily to buy her a little bit of time, get that rotate out, and now they've doubled up into mid. Karma just working this map perfectly on the defensive side. They're perfectly fine with allowing them this space because they know exactly where they're at. They drop the pin on their location. Oh my god, Starlight, sure, just round the corner and hit the instant bullet one tap. That's totally fine to get into the site. Ellie trying to trade it out, a nice little spray transfer to do so. Make things a 2v3. And again, I mean, these players are just
player
everywhere from
standing.
Lars now. They're just hiding in every little corner that they can, the little goblin angles, trying to pick up any little kill. It's going to leave scratches in the 1v2. Crossfire set up. K in the angle. Scratch is trying to jump through the crosshair, but this is not going to happen.
The Kaonade will find the bonk onto K, but it will not find the kill. It will not find the pressure. And I mean, that is the round where, again, it looked like they had an opportunity. They find a couple big kills on this eco. They get it into even territory. But it's these late rounds that continue to slip away. Team Karma are so good at when the rounds get scrappy, when things get weird, at setting up in a position where the final few players can trade each other in a way that is advantageous and closing those out.
Yeah, absolutely. And now just push to the very edge. 12 rounds for Team Karma. On the verge of winning this out. K just going absolutely crazy on this map. And again, it just can't be understated. Of course, a lot of that is her mechanical prowess, but it's also there's a regimented setup from the rest of the team. And this is honestly like kind of a bit of a tale that I feel like we're seeing with a lot of these game changers teams at the moment. Kind of comparable to version 1 in a way, how they've, brought in some of these new talented players that were showing a lot of promise and surrounding them with these experienced veterans to really bring the best out of them. And you can't ask for more experienced veterans than Emily, than Rain. I mean, it's just these players who've been competing for so long, and the way that they're setting up a newer player like K, it's just picture perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, the tenure of Hannah and Emily as well, the support has been excellent thus far, but in this round, it's just K alone, trying to take a fight that she ends up losing. So B site is for the taking of Valaris. They'll get themselves into a post plant, but this is what we were just talking about, Wyatt. These late rounds, the devil is in the details, and Team Karma have a tendency of being able to weasel their way back into situations like this.
Yeah, they re-clear halls there with a little flash grab well play. Try and get as much space as they can. Really nice shot from Starbound to put it in the 5v3. And at this point, with those Aster smokes down, cutting off the angles, this little drone coming in, it's not even going to matter. Ellie's going to have to save that rifle. The rest of Team Karma sent packing. All the right util there from Valaris. And again, I mean, as we were talking about before too, the Aster Balls on this map are just so strong. I mean, look at this space on site that Valaris were able to get for free off that. It's just absolutely ludicrous. So, they're down, but they're not out quite yet, but still an outrageous uphill climb.
It's been good thus far. Is it enough for consistency?
Going to Astral to
Still a full buy to the side of Team Karma. And they have that Silva ult online, so that kind of means that just hard executes with this Killjoy ult that's available for Team Valaris are off the table. Instead, they have to play the mid round or just take heavy towards B. That seems to be their answer. KO Knife will go early towards A, trying to really sell presence on this side of the map. They spot 2, maybe a 3rd player off that one, which should call for a reaction of a faster hit towards this B site. And that does seem to be the decision for Team Valaris.
Yeah, they're going to hit the gas. Peek from K with those knives out. Could have been a sick little opening on the defensive side. Get that advantage retake, but it doesn't come in. Good info from the Prowler, too. Just further going to push back those defenders, claiming the space on the site. Now trying to get set up with the crossfires. Getting into back halls. Having players playing all the way down that main angle. Princess Icy watching the flank. Has line of sight until the Astral comes up. Again, but Starbound with this off is just so goddamn good. Fatal in as well. Fights backside, but it's these crossfires. It's Starbound. Perfect setup from Valaris. Again, they are down, but they're not out yet. 2 impressive as hell rounds in a row. They really are showing that they do have layers to their play. They do have the skill. But at this point, it's just, will it be enough? They need 5 more in a row.
That they do, but that last round is so impressive. these B long takes have been successful now twice in a row, and I'd love to see Valaris change things up. And that will be their answer. Not only do they have the operator still posted on this line, they have 2 players ready to fight forward off that. A couple pings coming out from Valaris. They seem aware of the possibility of an aggressive play, but do they clear these angles? Are they ready for K? Lost the 2 initiators, holding this space. Oh, it's actually the Rolling Thunder. Already committed, but there's a Seize as well that traps him in place. Ellie trying to find a second. She gets it with the Ghost. This is getting dangerous. Not a single trade to come back thus far. And Team Valaris very much in trouble. The spike is on the ground in a bit of a no man's land. But so is Ellie. She's still trapped here alone. No one has managed to find the angle to support her just yet.
Yeah, Valaris just walking in and the defensive trap just sprung. Ellie gonna go down at least to the Molly, a bit of a trade. Not without the loss of some help though. Starbound's super weak, and now is Killjoy ult gonna come in, try and clear the necessary space on the site so they can walk in, but K up top, a bit of a chance. Not gonna make anything of it. That tight angle with the Guardian, tough to capitalize off of. But Emily was able to stay backside. The Killjoy ult didn't stretch all the way there, and she's gonna make them pay for that. 2v1 now. Starbound has been amazing, but they're alone.
20 seconds on that clock. They're waiting for a mistake, trying to find any opportunity. But Karma are not giving it. Jump peak, 10 seconds. That spike needs to be planted. And at this point, they're just gonna run. But there's nowhere to hide for Team Valaris. 13-7, a 2-0 victory. And the run continues. Team Karma, another step closer to that main event.
Team Karma, I mean, what can we say that we haven't already? They just look so regimented. The way that they're setting up, K, clearly the time put in the preparation, paying off immensely, whether it's the retakes, the site execs, the way that they open up rounds to find those early picks to take map control. They just had it all, and Valaris, respect for the attempt, keeping it really close on Lotus, their map pick, but then heading into Pearl with no info on how Team Karma are going to play it, and just seeing how regimented they were on the first map, how excellent they were playing, and then having to go up against this weird comp with the Sova, something you never see, and they're just set up perfectly around that to enact this master plan. It's like, what the hell can you even do against that? So respect for an honest effort, but damn, they look good.
Yeah, they really do, and now they find themselves in a good position here. I think for the core of this team, the players who have been competing in so many game changers, I mean, for pretty much everyone on this squad, they have been around the block and are looking to make their way to another main event, looking to make waves now as a free agent squad. But that does wrap things up for our second game of the day and for us here on the cast. To close out the day and maybe get a word from some of the players, we're going to send things over to Sajideen at the desk.
Thank you so much, Mimi and Wyatt, for bringing us such a fantastic show there. I am back here with Gompers. Man, we talked about this initiator situation perhaps on the side of Team Karma. They busted out with that Sova instead, and personally, I feel very gross watching that combo with the breach here, Gompers. I want to hear your breakdown on all of this.
Yeah, overall, again, I felt like they had even stronger synergy, surprisingly enough, coming down on Pearl. And, you know, they were good on their util usage before. They were good on that synergy before as well. But like you said it, right? Using the utilities in combo, using everything in combo, even just holding things together as well. It pretty much is just basic Valorant to the point where it's skilled Valorant, right? That's exactly how you play at that top level, and they're doing it to the fullest extent. I think Team Karma, they really flourished in this game, and if anything, it looks like Pearl is pretty much their comfort map because they played tremendously.
Yeah, it did not look like a map that, I mean, we may not have any record on it. I'm curious when we go to the post-match interview is like what their practice situation was looking like on this map, because they look so seasoned in it. Now, something else that I've noticed that especially when they were on the attacker side, there was a lot of conditioning happening from Team Karma, making sure that Valeris, like, yes, we're going to expect them to have presence mid. We're going to expect them to suddenly like, oh, wait, just kidding. Now they're no longer doing that. We're shifting and we're putting pressure back over onto A side. Oh, now we're swinging over onto B. It just like, if this was a dance partner, it's pretty clear that Team Karma was in the lead here. And I don't know what Valeris could have done there.
If anything, the only thing Valeris could have done was, oh man, I feel like that KO could have been so big, right? And if we're talking about util,
Yes.
that was the biggest thing there, taking in more suppressions, right? Overall, eliminating K. K was such a big factor as to why this team was getting away with so much down for Team Karma. Majority of the times, I was seeing like insane stuff coming out from K, right? 3Ks, 4Ks, whatnot. And K was just across the board, just always there for the refrag, always there for the first touch, always there for the space creation. And I think K, as a duelist, did tons and tons of impact to lead Karma where they are now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we can swing that both to the other side to Starbound on that Jet. It was very impressive to me too, because when it was looking like Valeris was about to make a comeback there, perhaps cut that gap close a little bit in the end, it was Starbound on that op, like absolutely shining.
Yeah, no, it really was. And, you know, Starbound, again, right, you're looking at these duelists and you're saying to yourself, well, what can I do? And I would say it is a pretty hard feat to play that duelist role confidently, because a lot of the time sometimes it is going to be a lot of dying. Sometimes it is going to be a lot of that pressure coming down to it. And I think Starbound handled all of that pressure very, very well, right? K, yeah, they really pushed past those boundaries, but I feel like under those circumstances, they knew they had to step up to be that Jet to really frag out for the team. And obviously you could see that Jet on Jet MVP, right? So both of these players did their job tremendously.
Both of them absolutely did, but it is Team Karma to advance here. We do have the hold on, what do we have here? Oh yes, we do have our post-game matchups coming at you, as well as the Verizon post-match interview. So sit back, relax, and we'll see you after this break.
Nice try. One enemy. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Last player standing. Spike down B. Spike planted. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Flawless. 10 seconds left. Thrifty. Defend.
Welcome back, everyone. It is the Verizon post-match interview. I have Emily from Team Karma joining me here on the desk. Hello, and congratulations on that performance.
Hello, thank you. How's it going?
It's going. It's good. It's good. Now,
Good.
I want to start things off with that Lotus performance first, because we didn't really have too much information on our side about it. So talk to me about the prep you had coming into this tournament with a lot of these new maps, because you rocked the Pearl, you rocked the Lotus. What's the story?
Well, we've we've been hard at work. We've had not as much time together as we would have liked, but as soon as we got together, we put in the work. Some days we were working 6 days. We even did 7 days a week. We wanted to practice as much as we could for this tournament to prove ourselves. I'm very glad that our team came together when we did. I love this team so much. Everybody's incredibly hard workers, and even though that we didn't have that many maps of us, we're prepared for whatever we're going to be facing.
And I mean, it really, really showed. Now, you touched up on this a bit as far as you getting your team together. A couple times now, I've seen you go out there, put yourself out there so that your team can boot camp, fundraise, and all of that stuff. So your passion for your team and competition is absolutely remarkable. I mean, besides the fundraising aspect of it, what other difficulties have you been experiencing? Essentially balancing, managing, owning, leading that team as well as staying competitive.
Yeah, well, I've started from the bottom before and got to the top, so if I have to do it again, I will. I'm very confident with my team. I'm confident in myself as a leader. I know what it takes to grind up the ladder. So with a partner, without a partner, we'll do what we got to do at the end of the day, and it's our best to win. And I'm so thankful for the community who donated to help us come to boot camp here. Dignitas for lending their facility to us as well. With so little resources provided to us, we're making it work because at the end of the day, we're passionate about being the best. So very, very grateful.
That's awesome. And that passion is definitely showing. So something a little more technical, like with yourself here. I've followed your career here in Valorant, and I've essentially associated you with KO, and now you incorporated Breach into your repertoire. What was the decision on that, and has it been the struggle with the transition of incorporating that new agent? And are you still going to be planning to rock that KO? I was always a big fan.
I know, KO is my boy. I love KO so much, but if I want to continue playing, you got to be adaptable. You have to be able to play whatever the meta is at the time. I think right now Breach is incredibly meta, the way that you can control sites, and I have an insane duelist, K, who I can just flash her in, and I know she's going to get the picks that are needed. So I think Breach is crucial there. KO, when he got nerfed a little bit with his flashes, I felt like he wasn't as much of a supportive player in a sense. I did come from another game where I was used to his abilities, but I definitely feel right now is more of a Breach meta, at least for our playstyle of this particular team.
No, yeah, that's absolutely well said, and it leaves you a lot to do and a lot of room to work with. Right now, let's look forward here. As far as I always love to know, is there a particular team you want to or are looking forward to face up against in this tournament?
That's a good question. I was looking at the team list, and I feel like the scene has changed so much. There's so many different teams right now, and I just feel like I want to play everybody and anybody. At the end of the day, if you want to win the tournament, you're gonna have to play everybody and beat them. So it doesn't matter who we're gonna be facing. We'll do the homework needed to do the VOD reviews. We're gonna be ready for our game and give it our all. Now that we're here on LAN and not at home with ping, and I know a lot of people unfortunately are suffering with that right now currently playing, but I promise it's gonna get better if you work hard enough. But for us, we're gonna give it our all, and we'll play anybody we gotta play.
I love it, and I look forward to that. And the mic is yours, the floor is yours. Any other additional shout outs you have, or re-shout out the people that have helped you get here so far? Again, just thank you to everybody who's supporting Team Karma. We see you all there supporting us. It really means a lot because it's really tough right now, to say the least. But when I say we're passionate, I mean it. When we're gonna give it our all, I mean it. Hi, Kay. If you saw her on the screen. I love my team so much, and I love everybody that's making it possible for us to continue following our dreams. So thank you. Oh, I love it. And I mean, I could just see the support of everybody there. Hi, everybody, and congratulations. I'm going to let you celebrate with your team tonight. Get some rest, prepare for the rest of the week to come. So thank you again, Emily, and congratulations to you and your team.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Oh my god, they're so adorable. I love it. I mean, how can
I
you
like
not be
that.
a fan of Team Karma? Come on, right? Like, how cute was that?
That was cute. I like the relationship they have inside of, outside of the game too.
Yes, I think that's actually very important to have team bonding experience. And I know it's not necessarily super easy for many teams to do that because if you're not in person, it's hard. But online, you could still do it. Find them like pop in, like so you pop into some games, or maybe play non-other games like chess or Scrabble. I have no clue. Something that'll be fun and do like sing-alongs or parties. I don't know, break the ice. It lets your guard down, and I do feel it does help with communications. I mean, but what do I know? That's my thoughts on it, Gompers.
No, it is true. I feel like it is a lot easier to keep the mental up as well. I mean, Team Karma in those moments, right, where Valaris was close to taking it back, that's exactly what they did.
Absolutely. And let's slide things over. We do have the Aim Lab flick of the day coming at you right now. Ooh, Gompers, your big brain, break this down for me.
Oh, I remember this one.
Yeah.
Bungie was going off in these moments. Again, it's just pure aim at this point, and they were holding that angle. They knew one by one somebody was going to try to get that refrag, and it was one of those moments where they were just always ahead of the pack. They always knew what that team was going to do, and they were one step ahead.
Man, I mean, when I watch these highlights and replays, I'm just like, if I was that Jet dashing it to that smoke, I wouldn't even make the smoke. So it's always like very impressive for me. And then also obviously seeing like the fantastic aim that everybody else has. So perhaps I need to pop in some more Aim Lab time for myself. But oh my God, I'm seeing your dog.
Sorry.
No, why are you sorry?
He's a lap dog, so he loves, like, he cries when he's not like being treated like a child. So
oh
yeah,
goodness, all good. We love the lap dogs. But with that, for us, for Gompers and myself, we are done here for the day. If you want to check out an update on the brackets, it's pks.gg/bracket for the updates. But me and Gompers, we are done here. We're going to call it a night, but it's not over yet. There's still plenty more Valorant game changers to come. So sit back and have a good night, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Remaining. Remaining. Last player standing. Spike down.